Hello everyone, my name is Russell McNeely. Today, me and two of my teammates will present to you the Markstrat presentation for T-Elite. During the presentation, we'll discuss what products T-Elite sold, which markets T-Elite targeted, how products were promoted, how well T-Elite performed as a company in the sonite industry over a 6-year period, and what lessons were learned as a result of the Markstrat simulation. T-Elite produced sonites in the sonite industry. We had 5 different brands: Tops, which targeted the professionals; Tones, which targeted the high earners; Two Less, which targeted the savers; Tumas was targeting the shoppers; and Tops 2 was a rebrand of Tops, and it was targeting the professional segment. T-Elite operated for 6 years or 6 periods, and the 4 markets that we targeted again were the professionals, high earners, savers, and shoppers. T-Elite placed 5th out of 6 teams in the Markstrat simulation. Our stock price had a lot to do with where we finished. Our stock price started off at $1,200, and over the 6 periods, we finished at $683. T-Elite had a couple of bad periods, as you can see. Period 3, we lost 25% of our stock price index, and in period 4, we lost 31% of it. Period 5, we began to make a comeback, gaining 1%, and period 6, we gained an additional 10% of that. T-Elite's performance by brand and each segment. Tones was targeting the high earners segment of the market. It started off strong. The highest sales that we had for Tone were in period 1. However, Tone continually lost sales and market share, and in period 4, we had to discontinue it. The Tops, which were targeting the professional segment of the market, we had a 3% market share with Tops at one time. However, we had to rebrand it in period 4, and Tops had its highest sales in period 6. Two Less was the first addition to our portfolio. Two Less was produced to target the savers market, and it performed well, and Two Less actually kept T-Elite alive during periods 3, 4, and 5. Tumas was produced to target the shopper segment of the market. However, it didn't do very well. We had a 1% market share, and sales decreased each period that Tumas was being sold. As far as our financial performance, our revenue started off at $47 million. The first period, we had an increase of 14%, made $54 million, and our earnings before tax in period 1 was up 52% over period 0. That was our best performing period. Period 2, we had a 7% decline in revenue from period one. However, we did still have a 16% increase in our earnings before taxes. Period three, revenue declined an additional 32% from period two. We made $15,900,000. And after earnings before taxes, we were in the hole $6,600,000. Period four, we continued to decline. Lost another 33% in revenue. That was 102% more that we lost in period four on our earnings before taxes. We finished the period with a negative $9 million. Period five, the revenue increased. We made $5 million. After earnings before taxes, we made $1.5 million, a 637% increase from period four. And period six, our earnings before taxes increased an additional 318%. We made $4,100,000.
What we learned about segmentation and targeting. Lack of brand perception will have drastic effect to a company's product. We failed to take into account how customers' perceptions change until nearly the end of the simulation. This was our downfall for Tones. Had we maintained perception, we wouldn't have lost so much market share and had to kill the product. We learned that to succeed, our product must meet the wants and needs of the target market. We created products for the immediate wants and needs of consumers, but we failed to look at how their wants and needs would evolve. Learning to analyze all financial reports was hard for us. It was information overload. Once we understood all the reports and what they could do, the simulation was almost over. What we learned about product if we could go back. Promote perception. What the customer thinks of your product is just as important as what features it actually has. A customer's wants and needs must be met within your product. Rebranding was extremely challenging. I touched on this a little in the previous slide. Customers' wants change as time goes on, and you have to take this into account. Being able to pinpoint those was difficult. Advertising your product means investing in your product. You have to increase brand awareness to sell your products. If a customer doesn't know it exists, they won't buy it. Pricing. It was challenging not to overprice or price too far under. Adjusting a price of a product must be done with caution. We maintained our pricing without change nearly the entire simulation. Tones we didn't adjust at all, but ended up killing. Toolless was targeted to the savers, which was very price sensitive. In order to stay competitive, we lowered our price near the end to maintain market share. Each brand had a different price to hit each segment we were targeting. Toolless was sold around $200 for the savers. 2 Mouse was sold around $300 for the shoppers. Tone was sold for $540 for the high earners. And Tops was sold around $400 for the professionals. Place was another important aspect of the simulation. Knowing where your customer shops and having your product available in that location is key to success. If you sell only online but your customer doesn't buy online, there's a disconnect. Most of our products were targeted to segments that mainly shopped at specialty stores. The only exception was the savers, who mainly shopped in mass merchandise stores.
T-Elite commercial teams and advertising were our most important tools that we use for targeting and positioning ourselves in the donut industry. We determined that Toolless targeted savers and earned us our highest brand awareness at 42.9%, followed by Tops, which targeted our professional segment, which also shared market shares with our savers and professionals. Unfortunately, our shoppers under brand 2 Mouse earned us the lowest market share, but let's see if I see anything else with it. Our base cost to manufacture to our savers was the least expensive, and it was also the least expensive priced brand that we sold. We determined that selling to professionals, although this procures a high base cost, we can earn a higher profit by marking up our prices. So T-Elite success and failures. We'd like to contribute our successes to our savers and our professionals, where brands Too Less and Too Not and Tones were both successful in the introductory periods. Tones was successful through the second period as well, but it phased out by period 6, unfortunately. We determined that our least successful areas were two brands, Tumas and Tops. Tumas targeted the shoppers, and we just failed to target the market appropriately there. Tops also targeted the professionals, as one of our successful brands did, Tones, but we failed to sell to the market, and it was highly costly for us to sell that brand off. So we determined that contribution before and after market was most effective with our brand Tops, who did target the professionals. We just weren't able to, sell to that market appropriately, although we were the most effective within our marketing to that brand. So there were a lot of lessons learned after the T-Elite Markstrat simulation. We ended up finishing out with our 3 brands, although we felt we started out strong with 4 brands. So our keys to success were that we targeted a large market share at the very beginning. Our target customers were willing to pay higher prices then. And we also target our success to targeting our customer segment in the saver segment appropriately. Oh my gosh. We noticed that we needed to keep our prices consistent because we determined fluctuating prices really didn't earn us any income in the end. If we could do anything differently, we would forecast ourselves significantly better. We would have withdrawn the non-performers early on, and we would have really tried to understand our competition through competitive analysis a little bit better. We probably should have used our resources in advertising a little bit better also to increase our brand perception overall. There were a lot of lessons learned. We felt we got a lot out of the simulation, and we thank you for your time. Go Team Elite.
We should start clapping at the end.
Yay.